Hello, everyone. I'm Janine Stanley, Director of Customer Communications here at Aira, and I want to welcome everyone to our special features and changes at Aira webinar. We realize this is going to be a popular topic, and today with me is our Vice President of Marketing, Sandy Marcus. Hi, Sandy.
Hello, Janine. I think
And I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I think it's been a whole hour since I last spoke to you.
I think it might be. Goodness, with the other side of my brain here. And of course we have our marvelous producer Sid. Hi, Sid.
Hello, Janine. Hi, everybody.
Hey. So today we are going to be doing a few things before we open this up to you all because we would like your input as we go forward. But we are changing a few things at Aira, and you may have received our communication in the mail, and we're going to talk about all of those things today. But we're going to start out with a really quick review of our privacy policy and our terms of service. And there's a method to our madness here. So, the privacy policy can be found at ira.io/privacy. Really easy. There is also a link at the bottom of each page of the website, so you can get to the terms of service and the privacy policy at the very bottom of our website. Now, our privacy policy, I'm just going to go through the basic areas in the privacy policy because it's a long document. However, I encourage you to go read it if you have any questions. The first section talks about information and data that you provide to us. And then the second section talks about how we use your data and information. And then we have another section about your rights and choices. And that includes information about privacy policies in the European Economic Council, I believe it is. Yeah, I know I'm going to get that name wrong. But if you are in the EU, you're going to have some specific information there. And finally, we talk about data security, how to contact us, etc. And again, this privacy policy, very important to know and be aware of, and that's at ira.io/privacy. Now we get to the fun stuff, the terms of service, and I'm going to roll it over to Sandy for those.
Perfect. Thanks, Janine. So I'm going to go over 15 points, probably the most sort of boiled down points from the overall terms of service policy. And before I start, same comments that Janine shared. If you care to read the entire document, you're certainly welcome to. You can find that at ira.io/T like Tom, O, S like Sam, no punctuation, TOS for terms of service. And I also think there's a link at the bottom left of the certainly of our homepage. I think of all of our pages. So this first piece obviously already, but Aira is a visual interpreting accommodation service for people who are blind or have low vision. Aira is not a safety device and cannot replace your mobility aid. So if you generally use a mobility aid like a white cane or a guide dog, or perhaps a sighted guide, we recommend that you use your mobility aid when traveling with Aira. Agents cannot tell you when it's safe to cross a street, but they can tell you the color of the light, give you a description of the layout, and give you pedestrian signal information when that information is available. Once you enter an intersection, a parking lot, or other scenarios where there are pedestrians and vehicles nearby, your Aira agent will remain quiet unless you explicitly ask for information, and that's so you can hear things going on around you, like the flow of traffic. When agents provide information in these kinds of scenarios, they'll provide simple and short verbal information, again, so you can focus on using your senses, including your hearing. Our privacy policy that Janine just talked about explains how we collect and use your personal information. You can use Aira at work as long as you comply with your employer's policies related to your use of Aira. With certain exceptions and within the limits of technology, we record the audio and the video from each session for training and quality purposes only. Generally, we don't release these recordings or any portions of them to you or to third parties unless we're required to do so by law. We own those recordings, but we don't own photos that you take with one of your Aira agents. We expect that our users act with respect, inclusivity, and can cancel a subscription or terminate access in the event that somebody acts inappropriately. We're about halfway through this list. Some Aira services require registration. You may allow other individuals to try, or you could demonstrate Aira using your service, but as the account holder, you're the one who needs to initiate that call. We charge fees for some services, and those are described in our terms of sale or in other agreements we have with you. So for instance, if you move from a guest account to a paid account, those details would be in your terms of sale. The terms are between you and us, not between you and your App Store or Apple or Google Play Store provider. If you do have a subscription, you can terminate it at any time, and we can terminate access if these terms are violated. Links to other sites don't constitute any sort of endorsement, and we're not responsible for the privacy practices of any third parties. Aira is not liable for your activities and makes no warranties about such activity. And you agree to arbitrate if there's a dispute between us. And then lastly, there are easy ways to reach us if you have questions or need help. Our customer care team. That's the end of the terms of service summary. My comments, just to round it out, our customer care team is incredible. You can call them, you can email them, you can text them, and they know the answers to so many questions and will research something in the event that they don't know the answer. Again, aira.io/TOS if you care to read the full document. And
Awesome.
Janine, I will pass it back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Sandy. And now we're getting to the part everybody's been waiting for. We are going to talk about some of the changes that we have been making. We talked in August about the fact that in January of 2023, our prices will be going up. They will be increasing. And I will give you one thing today. We are not going to talk about what those prices are going to be. That information will come out from Aira the first week in January, and believe me, we will have a big old webinar then to tell you what those prices and plans are going to be. Today, we're going to explain some of the changes that will take place on Monday, the 5th of December, and a couple changes that have already taken place. So I'm going to start out with our first change that has taken place, and some of you have already noticed this, our job seeker promo. Now, here at Aira, jobs are very important. Employment is important. We know that the blind and low vision community is has extremely high rates of unemployment and underemployment. And so we have something called the Job Seeker promo. And this is a promo that Aira funds. We fund this out of our own money to cover the cost of the minutes. And all of the changes that we're going to talk about today that we are making come from Aira's own money. So these things don't have companies that are sponsoring them. We are looking very hard for someone to sponsor the Job Seeker promo. Now that promo was a 30-minute call unlimited. Well, we have had to reduce the number of calls, so you will get one 30-minute call per day with the Job Seeker promo, and that's already in effect until we can find someone who will sponsor that promo. And, it's flexible. This could change. However, at this point in time, that's the way the job seeker promo will work. We have also reduced the size of our demo. You can demonstrate Aira to a friend, to a potential access partner, and that has gone from 15 minutes down to 10 minutes. So those are a couple changes that are already in place, and Sandy is going to now tell you about more.
Perfect, thanks. So we sent an email to everybody. There's a newsroom post on ira.io/newsroom. And then obviously you're here with us today to hear about these changes. So beginning next Monday, which is the 5th of December, access to 5 minutes free will change for both guest explorers and explorers who have a paid subscription. So I will describe the exact changes and then give a quick little summary about the why. So for guests, currently guests can make one 5-minute call at no cost once in a 24-hour period. Starting Monday, the 5th of December, that will change. Guests will be able to make one 5-minute call at no cost once every 48 hours. And then for paid subscribers, right now, regardless of plan, currently paid subscribers can make a 5-minute call at no cost once every 4 hours. And starting Monday, the 5th of December, that will change. Paid subscribers will be able to make one 5-minute call at no cost every 12 hours. And this is all outlined in the letter that you received through email and in the newsroom article. So the short explanation of why is as follows. So since our early days, we've invested considerable sums to provide free Aira-sponsored minutes. As Janine described, if you literally think of money, Aira's money. And we have a commitment to providing some level of free access. However, starting now and going forward, we will monitor and adjust exactly what that investment is and the associated offers so that we are fiscally prudent or financially wise. The idea here is that by slowing our pace of investment in free Aira minutes, we'll be in a position to invest in other parts of the business. As one example, more development investment to get to, these are not being announced here, just as an example, something like call routing or callback, right? There's engineering and development time and work and resource required to do something like that. So again, this takes effect on Monday, the 5th of December. And if you want to review those changes for guest, 5 minutes free, or for paid subscriber, 5 minutes free, I would refer you, the easiest place is I would refer you to ira.io/newsroom. And the very first article, I think the title is something like Getting Ready for a Strong 2023.
Yep.
Basically the exact language that I used is in that article. And with that, I'll pass it back to Janine, who will take us through the last change for now, and then we'll get interactive.
Yeah. So before I get to that last change, I want to let everybody know, because you're probably thinking, how am I going to keep track of this? Well,
Good.
you're going to keep track of it via the usage tab in the Aira mobile app. So you're going to go to the usage tab, which is at the bottom of your screen. If you're on iOS, I believe it's the second one at the bottom. If you're on Android, I believe it is in the navigation drawer. I'm sure the Android folks will correct me on that one. But you will go there and you will see up toward the top of the page when your next free call will take place. So that will be how you can keep track of it, because we realize this has changed a little bit. So our final change that we're making is to legacy plans. And probably the biggest question everybody has had is, what is a legacy plan? Well, a legacy plan is a plan that we're no longer selling, but people are still paying for. They may have been on this plan, some people, since the very beginning of Aira back in 2016. So we have a lot of those plans. We'd like to consolidate them, and we would like to bring them in line with our new pricing. So what we are doing, as of January 17th, 2023, all legacy plans, quote unquote, will disappear. This does not include the what we're calling community plans. These are the ACB, the NFB, the CCB in Canada, and the AEBC in Canada, and the RNIB plan. Those accidentally got added in our legacy email, so we are sorry for, quite frankly, freaking people out, because that would freak me out, I think. But those plans are staying. If you're on one now, and you're paying for it as of January 16th, 2023, you can keep that plan, absolutely. If you have anything else, well, the plans had a bunch of different names, but if you have something that is not one of our current retail plans or one of our community plans through your membership in one of those organizations, it will go away. Now, how do you know what kind of plan you have? Well, again, that usage tab is your friend. You can go to your usage tab right up at the top. It will tell you what kind of plan you have. And so you can take a look there. If that doesn't tell you for some reason, or you're not sure, or you don't think you have that kind of plan, please call customer care and they will be happy to help you and let you know exactly what you have and whether you will be able to keep that plan or not going forward. Now, going forward, if you are on one of our retail plans, intro, standard, or advanced, you can keep those plans until December 31st, 2023. Whew. So those are the changes. As of the 5th of December, that's the way the world of Aira will look. Now, we will, as we said, have pricing details coming up. That first week in January, we will let you know what our prices are going to look like. Today, though, we want to hear from you, and we're going to ask you a question. But before I do that, I want to see, Sandy, do you see anything in the chat that we need to answer about what we just talked about? Yeah, not the chat, but the Q&A.
I follow you. I just directed my attention there. Let's see, is the usage tab. Oh, Tony Soul is confirming the usage tab is in the navigation drawer on Android.
Thank you.
Thank you. And let's see. Harrison is asking, is there a chance that the app itself will be changed to show how much longer until your next free call? So when I look right now, I find on my usage tab, your next free call is available now, but I don't know the answer to the, oh, I see. Right now it can say 1 hour, but 1 hour can be anything from 1 hour to 1 hour and 59 minutes. It would be nice to have it down to the minute. I understand. Janine, I'm going to toss this to you. You might know more about it than you do.
Sure. That is definitely a feature that we can suggest to the dev team because they are completely rebuilding the usage area. And so that's something I can suggest about the minutes. It's a very good point because I've seen, you have 3 hours until your next call, and it can be 3 hours and 1 minute, or 2 hours and, whatever. Doing it by the minute is probably much better. So I will suggest that to our development team. Thank you, Harrison. And
there's one other, sorry, I was just jotting that down about minutes, usage tab. Okay. Between the two of us, we'll get that to them. One other one other question to address. The question is, can people still sign up for the community plans either before or after January? That's an excellent question.
Yes.
So from literally today until January 16th of 2023, you can sign up for intro, standard, or advanced, what Janine and I are referring to as the 2022 retail plans. And you can sign up for one of the community plans. Let me see if I get it all right. NFB, ACB, CCB,
This is the hard one.
AEBC, and
Yep.
RNIB. Did I get it right?
Yep, you got it.
Wow. So yes, you can, provided your enroll or have membership in one of those organizations, you can still sign up for those. So any retail plan, any community plan that someone's a member of between today and the 16th of January, you'll retain that plan at that rate through the end of 2023.
Yep.
Late in 2023, we'll come back with what the options look like to go forward, but clearly that's a long time away.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
the very short answer to your question, Mika, I think I said Mike before, forgive me, I didn't read it closely. The short answer to your question is yes, you can sign up for a community plan now up until the 16th of January. After the 16th of January, the community plans that we know and love right now will go away. I mean, we'll support people who are still on them, and we will have some sort of new community plan, but don't have anything to share about that just yet.
Yep. Yep. And also, something about the plans that are coming and the plans that you will have going forward. Benefits of these plans, features like free 5-minute, features like that, may change as the year goes on. So, and all of that is in your terms of sale. So, let's see. What we're going to do is we're going to open up, unless actually, let me check YouTube. Sid, do we have anything over on YouTube?
At this point, no, we do have a few folks tuning in, but there are no questions on the YouTube feed.
Well,
One of the things I'm going to suggest is if you do have a question, feel free to raise your hand if you're an attendee within the Zoom, or if you'd like to just simply ask the question via the Q&A interface within Zoom or in the chat within YouTube, we'll be glad to hopefully be able to answer your question. Unfortunately, though, we will need to limit our questions to just simply one statement at a time, but we do thank you for the interest.
So the question that we're going to ask you all to answer for us is, except for pricing, if you were in charge of constructing the new plans at Aira, what would you want as part of those plans? And for an example, how many plans should we have? How many minutes? What kind of features should they have in terms of things like being able to share an account? All of these things, everything but price. So I would love to hear from you. Sandy would love to hear from you. And we're going to take all of these back. For those of you who send us questions in the Q&A, we will, if we don't answer them today, we will definitely answer them privately. So never fear, we will get those. But let's hear about what you would like in an Aira plan. And throw those hands up to do that.
Okay, we do have one. Daniel is
awesome.
Raised his hand. Just a moment, Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel, you should be online. What is your suggestion?
Hey,
hello,
there
can
we
you
go.
hear me?
Yes.
Hi, you guys can hear me, yeah?
Yes, we can.
Okay, hi guys. Well, it's the first time I've actually got through on one of these, so hi.
Awesome.
Janine, I know we speak all the time in the WhatsApp group.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I haven't really got any questions, but I just want to answer your question that you kind of asked just then about what about feedback about in terms of the plans. So there's a couple of things really. Is the main one for me is that the obviously I'm on the RNIB intro plan. It'd be nice if the RNIB plan could be extended to all plans, or just more than just the intro plan. Obviously in the new plans, and then maybe on the advanced plans, obviously just an increase of minutes. But the other question I have is, what's happening with the purchased minutes? Above the subscription minutes. If you run out of minutes, you can purchase add-on minutes. What's happening with those in terms of changes?
Good question, Dan. And unfortunately, the price of those is probably going to increase as well. Now, one of the things we have heard from folks, and we are looking at this as we redesign, nothing in stone yet, but the whole business about credit minutes versus add-on minutes versus when you use what, we're trying to simplify that. So that's something to look forward to. We don't have any pricing yet for additional minutes. But we also may be lifting the cap on when you can purchase minutes. Right now, you have to use 5% of your plan or more before you can buy those. We are looking at lifting that cap. So that's something that's under consideration. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Dan. Let's hear. So, Dan would like more community plans under RNIB and more minutes under our larger plan. All right. So, who's next?
Next, we've got this is in the Q&A segment. An anonymous attendee asked whether or not they could switch from the standard plan to, say, the ACB community plan. Is it possible to switch?
Yes. Until the 16th of January, you can switch plans within what we offer, which are going to be those 3 retail plans and your community plans. Just be ready to provide the information. Now, if you're switching to a community plan, you're going to have to contact customer care, and they can set you up with that. So they're probably going to be asking you a couple questions about your membership in the organization. So just be prepared to answer those, and then they will get you set up. But yes, you can switch between now and the 16th of January.
We do have a few other folks that are having their hands raised. Harrison
Right.
is coming up next. Stand by.
Right.
Harrison, you should be online.
Hello.
Hey, Harrison.
So as far as plans, I've always been an advocate for the high rollers. I've always been an advocate for the high rollers. So I would say 40, 80, and then 2, 4, 6, 8. It would be really nice if it was like 40, 80, 200, 400, 600, and 800 with, I guess, decreasing cost per minute, like you have it right now, like decreasing cost per minute the more you buy, because obviously, the more you buy, the more it should decrease. Also, a pay-as-you-go plan where sort of like Amazon cloud services, it would just bill you as you use it, and it's kind of a running credit card total. And then, but the one thing that I've always said is I wish they would roll over. I know why sometimes they don't, but I wish minutes would roll over. I feel like I could get away with a smaller plan if minutes would just roll over. And I feel like I have a long list of bucket list things. Like sometimes I'll wind up with 300 minutes at the end of the month because I'm on legacy and I'm stubborn and I refuse to give that up. But I also have 5 hours of bucket list things that's like, oh, I don't have to do it now, but I'm going to do it now because I'm going to run out of minutes. There are things that I would just like to get accomplished sometime. It keeps my bucket list in check. I will tell you, it keeps my bucket list in check.
I can imagine. Well, the good news is that the more plans that we have, the more likely you are to be able to pick a plan that will not leave you with those 300 minutes at the end of the month. And so I can tell you there will be definitely more than 3 plans. We're not sure exactly how many more, but there will definitely be more than 3. And that's kind of where we're taking your suggestions, and yours are great, Harrison. Thank you. We definitely get that. And we also, it's kind of people on both ends of our spectrum are, and I'm like waving my hands like a scale in the air. But people on both ends feel very passionately about having the minutes available to do what they need to do. So, all righty, who is next?
Next up, we have Mike. Stand by, Mike, who should be connected. Mike, what is your suggestion?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, this is Mike Tyndall. And it was kind of a shock when I got my little letter a couple days ago, and I've kind of been processing the whole thing. I've been an IRA user since almost day one, back from unlimited IRA to now the value plan that I get. And I'm a person who I don't use all my minutes every month. I don't even come close, but I've been paying that money simply because I want those minutes to be available in case I need them. And so for me, it's kind of like when I did the math, it was like, wow. I do understand that, IRA has to make money in doing what we're doing. And I think for me, I would like to see, as Harrison said, maybe even if a plan is more than 199, if I could pay, maybe even 250 and still get 700 minutes for that. I would spend that extra $40. And so I'm not like, freaking out just thinking I'm only going to have 300 minutes a month for the 199. And I don't know. I just kind of wish that I'm hoping that somebody will kind of go to bat for those of us who have been on legacy plans for 5 and 6 years, and we've been paying the money. And for me, as I said, personally, I've been paying the money because I don't want to lose the minutes. So just kind of a thought. That's where I am.
No, that's a great thought, Mike, and trust me, almost verbatim, your concern has come up in our discussions, right, Sandy? That perspective has definitely been represented and is continuing to be represented in our discussions.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Next person.
Next person we're going to be going to is Tony. Stand by, Tony. Tony, you are up live.
Hey,
What is your
Tony.
suggestion? Your suggestion, Tony. Tony, if you can unmute, there you go.
There we go.
Perfect.
There we
A
are.
couple of things. I know this is a shot in the dark, but I'm going to give it a shot here. I wish there would be a way that you could have. I know this is like a shot in the dark, but I know we've talked about it before. I don't know if it'd be possible. Say like you have a plan and you've used your minute and you have 5 minutes left or whatever you have. I wish there would be a way you could roll over into the next month. I know it's not possible, but it's just a shot and it's just to toss it out there for who knows, maybe down the road.
Maybe a small amount of minutes.
Yeah, small amount of minutes.
20 or something.
Yeah. And another thing we would like to see is more access sites. I know that's not
yes.
related to the plan.
By insurance.
And covered by insurance, possibly, or cell carriers. Have you guys looked at that at all?
Funny you should mention it, Tony. Actually, what this is going to allow us to do with these price increases, of course, it's covering inflation and whatnot, but it also, and limiting free access, also gives us more resources to look at those kinds of things, like more access locations, more different ways for people to receive IRA, including the two that you just mentioned, insurance and cell carriers. So those are all right now out on the table, actively being discussed. And I'll look over at Sandy and say, yes?
Yes, Janine. And I just wanted to add a little color. So I kind of glossed over it when I explained the short form reason about why we're making these changes. Obviously about the financial health of the business, but equally as important to be able to invest in advancing the business, the technology, and ways that we can provide service. The color that I wanted to add to what Janine just shared, Tony, in response to you, well, the group, but in response to your comments, our commitment to providing access to visual information or otherwise inaccessible visual information hasn't wavered one bit. And we are committed in 2023 to do either on our own or with some other of the community organizations advocacy work so that I'm going to say generically, people view visual interpreting in a way that's similar to how people view sign language interpreting. So obviously, we're not announcing anything here. I want to be very clear. We're not announcing anything here. But when you think about how advanced access is to getting a sign language interpreter, it's easy to begin imagining a parallel world where getting access to a visual interpreter would be similarly, I don't know what word to use, provisioned, I'll just say. So that probably sounded like a bit of gobbledygook, but maybe the takeaway, we're making these changes and not losing sight of our commitment that access to visual information, or again, I should correct myself, otherwise inaccessible visual information is absolutely the priority.
Yep. And I could not have said that better.
Thank you.
All right. Who is up next?
I think we'll toss it over. We'll go over to YouTube for the moment.
All
we
right.
have a question, or really a statement from one of our Ira explorers, from Johnny, and his statement is: as a business owner with 300 minutes a month, he states that he could definitely use another 300 minutes as part of the plan. So here is a situation of expanding different plan opportunities there.
Uh-huh. Excellent. Well, Johnny, I don't know if you are currently using our small business offer, but the Intuit small business offer is available to folks who are business owners for business related tasks. So you can add that to your 300 minutes currently available, and that is 150 minutes a month that you can use under the small business promo. And you can actually find that under promotions in the app. And my dog is now going to play with his bone here, so and make lots of noise in the background. So that is one thing, but also, the more that we talk to access partners, the more we develop these things, we look for additional supporters of small businesses, additional folks to support that particular promo along with the good people at Intuit. They have supported that. I think that might have been one of our first promos of that type, that particular one with Intuit. So anyway, we appreciate hearing that. And one more in the column for larger plans.
And so, Sid, I was just going to pop in to say there's a couple of things in the Q&A. There was a reminding us to not price ourselves out of the market. There was a comment, kind of another vote for rollover. Another vote, well, this is standard plan, so maybe not the biggest, but in the middle, more minutes offered in the standard plan. I think that's kind of stacking up with what you said earlier, that current course is that there will be a few more plans than we have right now. So let's see. And then there's one that I don't understand, Janine. I'm going to read it. You might know. It's a gentleman named Martin. Can I please put the situation from the UK? I'm not entirely sure what that means.
Yes, that probably refers to the RNIB. Their community plan only has one level.
Got it.
And that's something that we're probably going to be talking when we read you the community plans. Going forward, we will definitely be talking to them, but we're also going to be looking, and we talked about this a little bit in one of our mini meetings today. I think we're in nonstop meetings at Aira right now, but we had talked about this and how you all can help us with some of these things, especially in the UK, in Australia, in New Zealand, where we don't have the boots on the ground, as it were. So I don't know, Sandy, if you want to elaborate on that.
Sure. So the way I described it earlier, and I think it makes sense. Obviously, the rationale and the outcomes are completely unrelated, but if you think about a neighborhood with an intersection that's busy and the local parents want stop signs and the town is busy with all sorts of priorities, and for whatever reason, that priority just isn't front and center, and the parents advocate and make noise in a respectful way and are relentless in a respectful way to make their desires known, eventually, or maybe I should say in all likelihood, that town will install the stop signs at the busy intersection. So the way we talked about this earlier, and exactly as Janine introduced it, in 2023, we want to work in maybe a little bit more of a prescriptive way with the community on the ground in a given country to respectfully advocate, educate, remind the local organization. In this example, we're talking about RNIB, about what they can do and how they should work with Aira to make service available, and whether there's a special program, whatever it is, to get them to engage with us and support communicating about service to the community, communicating to local businesses about the importance of providing access, the importance of accessible visual information. So, not that I think of what we're trying to do is to get stop signs at an intersection, or that you're the local set of parents, but again, if you can kind of extrapolate from there, we think that there's an opportunity for us to have traction by bringing all of our voices together. So look for, once we get to kind of the end of January and all of the changes have been rolled out, I would say we should look forward to something from myself and Janine about how we can kind of mount a campaign.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hopefully that answered your question, Martin. If not, please feel free to put something else in the Q&A if we didn't hit what you were talking about. All righty. Do we have anyone else in the audience?
Well, we've got the next one up will be Alex. Stand by, Alex.
Speaking of the UK.
Alex, you are online.
Oh,
What is your statement?
Hey,
can you
Alex.
You can hear me. Excellent. So,
yes, sir.
Well, as everyone else has said, in terms of larger plans, I'd go along with that. Sorry, just trying to shush my voice over. There we go. Yeah, so larger plans. I guess something else I would like to see is also the ability to manage your plans within the app and not be forced to call customer care to upgrade or downgrade or anything like that, because cell providers offer that option, and it just makes it irritating to have to call customer care to do all that. We should be in full control, because changes don't take effect till the end of the month, end of your billing cycle anyway. So why not give app ability to manage your plans within the app? And also, I'd like to see the option as well so that if you've got add-on minutes in the bank, you can cancel your plan and not lose them. So you're not able to use them necessarily, but you can just keep them on ice, as it were, till you restart your plan, or maybe they get converted into a monetary credit, which gets put towards your bill when you reactivate your plan or something. But because at the moment, you're kind of being held hostage, if you like, to keeping them, to keeping your plan alive if you don't want to lose your minutes, basically, that you paid for.
See, these are great, and I will tell you that we have discussed just about all of them except that last one, and that will definitely go into the list of things that we learned from this meeting that people are interested in. But absolutely, being able to manage your own account, including downgrading from within the app, that is something that is definitely, excuse me, definitely on the table. And it's something that we would really like you to be able to do as well. And along with that, managing certain aspects of your profile, like how you'd like directions to be given, what level of detail you want, because, for some things you like a lot of detail, for others maybe not so much. And switching that while you have the agent on the phone is, time consuming. So that's something that has been put out on the table as well. Thank you, Alex. Let's see, next. Who do we have up next?
A suggestion, maybe just as a statement in our Q&A from Barbara, and she just reads, I wish there was an effective way to have an agent help with an app. QuickTime or whatever the name is only works very hit or miss. And let's just say it's, there are some inconsistencies are not really the right word. There's some technical challenges, I guess.
Yes, and I can tell you, Barbara, that, and what Barbara is referring to is help with apps on your mobile phone. And right now, our current app has some difficulty with any way to access your mobile phone screen. Now, we can't, of course, our agents can't manipulate anything on iOS. They can on some models of Android phone, not all of them, but some of them. They can actually manipulate things on your screen. And I believe that the TeamViewer Quick Support app works in Android. It may not. Honestly, I don't have the experience on that one. But we, in, what would we say, Sandy, the first quarter of 2023, will be introducing our newly redesigned mobile app. And this is one of the things that is on the roadmap for that app, is the ability to have some sort of way to remotely at least share your screen.
Right.
Yep. And I think you're going to like it. It's in closed beta right now. And so we're hoping to get that out. That's going to be for iOS and Android. And guess what? They're going to look the same. So Janine doesn't have to remember what it is in the Android phone. But yeah, we have a lot of hope for this app. It's going to be a standard iOS and Android app. So you can use it just like you would our current app, but it will have a new design. It'll have maybe some new features. We're getting there. All right.
So there's sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
Oh, that's okay.
This is not necessarily about a mobile app, but a little bit about technology and about our point of view related to Be My Eyes. Lisa asks, how do we view Be My Eyes? Are we competitive? And goes on to pay compliments to our Aira agents, with the exception of the getting to the Microsoft Quick Assist desk, the Microsoft Quick Assist accessibility desk. Talks positively about that, but let me share some feedback about the comment. So thank you for the compliment about our agents. So we don't view Be My Eyes as a competitor. We look at and talk about ourselves as one tool in a host of tools. We're a tool, Be My Eyes is a tool, a white cane is a tool, JAWS is a tool. Obviously, you all can add to that list. You don't need me to add more. So when we think about our agents, and then we think about calls being answered by a Be My Eyes volunteer, the first thing that we point out, and you've pointed that out in your comment here, Lisa, is our agents are professionally trained. When the nature of the task is sensitive or confidential, perhaps there's charge information, maybe there's private content, maybe it has to do with medical procedure.
Yes.
We say, we suggest that you want somebody who is professionally trained and has signed confidentiality agreements. If you are looking at two pairs of shoes that you have the exact same loafers, and one is black and one is brown, and you want to pick the one that you want to pick, a Be My Eyes volunteer is perfect for that. So we look at them as complementary, so to speak. Your message goes on, and I just want to talk about that for a split second to address Quick Assist, and you ended with perhaps Quick Assist could replace TeamViewer. I'll add to the end of that someday. So right now we have 3 different tools. I think I'm going to get this right, and Janine will correct me if I don't. We agents use TeamViewer. Some agents, non-Mac using agents, use Microsoft Quick Assist, and we use Google Chrome Remote Desktop. And I realize they don't all do exactly the same things, but basically, if you think about similar tools, and we think that Google Chrome Remote Desktop is great. We think that Microsoft Quick Assist is great, and would love over time to migrate to just those. But right now we're all about 3 choices, just like choice in what sort of way you get to Aira, be it desktop or phone or Envision glasses or blind shell. So know that we're always looking at which partner technology is the best experience for our explorers and our agents.
Yep.
Janine, do you want to add it? Did I get it right?
Yeah, you got them all. Actually, there is one more in the TeamViewer product line that folks might want to try. It is called TeamViewer Quick Support, not Quick Assist, not to be confused with Microsoft Quick Assist, but TeamViewer Quick Support for the PC and the Mac. And that is sometimes called TeamViewer QS. And that is a stripped down version of TeamViewer. You don't have all of the pop-ups, you don't have a whole big screen to navigate, and it's accessible as far as reading out what's your ID and your dynamic password. So that is another tool that can be used fairly simply, and that'll get the agent right to TeamViewer, not a problem. You can give them the information and it's in. We will be doing some demos on these things on the podcast. And we realize the difficulty with TeamViewer. Believe me, we feel your pain. But if you can use these tools, there's a host of them to choose from.
So right now we've answered everything in the Q&A, and
Wow.
Sid, I don't see anybody else with their hand raised.
There's one more person actually has her hand raised.
Oh, good.
If we want to take
Good.
it as Joyce, and bye. Joyce, you should be up. Please feel free to mention your statement. You'll need to unmute. Joyce,
Good
you're on.
afternoon.
There we go. Hi, Joyce.
This is kind of a personal question. My billing cycle ends the 25th, 26th of the month. I'm not going to even know what my new pricing will be or what my new options will be until the beginning of January. And then come January 17th, everything changes. So my question is, will I get a credit back on minutes or something like that? Because only a small portion of my plan will be used by the time I have to make a decision.
Now, are you on a legacy plan, Joyce?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well, I have good news for you. Those minutes will indeed roll over to whatever your choice will be. So whatever minutes you have left are going to roll over. And I would imagine there will be some people have already switched now. There will be some people switching, late in the game, once they hear what the new pricing will be. So yes, those minutes will roll over once you switch your plan.
And I'm just going to pop in and add to that. So they'll, whatever the balance of unused minutes, as Janine said, will get transferred to your...
Yeah, rollover is a bad word. I'm sorry.
That's okay. They'll get transferred as add-on minutes.
Yes. Yep.
Yes, we've done it's funny timing, Joyce, that you asked that question today. Or actually, it's not funny timing. Of course you ask it today because we're having the webinar today. It's funny timing that earlier today we spent some cycles talking about how that will happen.
Yep, exactly the mechanics of it. And of course, as you know, add-on minutes stay around until you use them. So, and I think Mike had mentioned it earlier about folks who have been with us on these legacy plans for a long time. We recognize that commitment that you all have had to us, and we definitely want to honor that. Well, I think we are at the end of the hour. And Sandy, I would love to give our contact information if people have questions, if they have comments, suggestions. Where can they put those comments and suggestions? Wait, that sounds bizarre, Janine. What?
No, not
Oh
no,
my.
not at all. And I'll answer that in a split second. It went away.
Oh no.
Sid might have answered it.
I went ahead and sent the link over to the question. The question was where to go to get the team viewer quick support.
Super.
And I just went ahead and responded while y'all were in the background while y'all were
That-
wrapping up.
Thank you, sir.
That's perfect. Thank you, Sid. So if you think of anything after we wrap up today, feel free to send an email to support@aira.io. If it's a question, the care team will answer or be able to answer. And if it's a suggestion, they'll know to pass it along to Janine and to me. And it would certainly help them if you, in the body of your message, just say, I have a question, here it is, or I have a suggestion, here it is. We would love them. We're obviously not literally crowdsourcing how the new plans are designed and defined, but in the discussions, Janine, and by association, I am always asked, what does the community want? What does the community ask for? What does the community like? And what does the community not care for? I was going to say dislike, but I'll say not care for. So send them on.
Yep, exactly. And I think given the suggestions that we're hearing today, I think we're on the right track here. I'm feeling good about where we're heading, actually.
Great,
So,
as am I.
Yeah. And do not forget, folks, the desktop app, Aira for Desktop, is in an open public beta right now. And you can go and play with that app and learn about some of these remote screen sharing, remote control, remote access apps at aira.io/desktop. And that will give you the link to get to the desktop app. It will give you all the information about configuring your machine, etc. So we are not going to have a customer call in December because of the holidays. We're going to give everybody a month, and because we've got so many things going on. But we will be back in touch with you during the first week in January. We don't have the exact date yet, but we will be back in touch with you. And let's see, I believe that's all I've got. Anything else, Sid and Sandy?
Not for me. I think you summed it up beautifully. Sid, how about you?
Yeah, and we just had one person chime in, a little bit of a confusion on which time this particular seminar started, but I just responded that yes, this, for those that were thinking it was at 6, this is the seminar.
Yes, we are sorry. We had to change the date to be a little bit more respectful for our customers in the UK, because that was going to be like 11 to midnight, and not too many people could be here at that point. And it's a decent time of the morning in Australia and New Zealand, so not quite 3 a.m. or something like that, something horrible like that. So, yes, this seminar, this session will be put in our podcast feed. It'll probably be out either tomorrow or Friday, along with our webinar that we had yesterday about holiday shopping and small businesses and the small business promo. So thank you all. Thank you so much, Sandy and Sid. Everyone, please have a very safe holiday season and rest of 2022. And we will be back to talk with you in 2023. This has been Janine Stanley for Aira.